So, Bryce Mitchell was just on the Michael Bisping show, and they spent a lot more time talking about the apocalypse, the end of the world, the shape of the earth, Jesus, farming, which is okay. Well, there's a lot less fight talk. And I like Bryce Mitchell. He's one of my favorites right now on the roster, character wise. I like farming. I like blue collar work. I like agriculture. I like computers. I like writing code and computer programs and tech and all that stuff, right? Pretty much the backbone of our society. I'm a fan of, and I give credence to every time. I used to be a blue collar worker, but then I kind of just took a step back because a lot of them were former convicts who lacked a lot of sophistication. You probably know what I'm talking about. But when you're the only guy on the yard who hasn't been to prison, that can put a little damper on the relationship sometimes. And I didn't start those altercations, but I'm moving on. Bryce Mitchell's a really nice guy. He seems in tune. And if you were to tell me that we were near the apocalypse, looking around at the state of the world, I would absolutely agree with it. But, and this is a big but, um, let's say we are in the end times and Jesus is preparing to take everyone who believes in him in his hearts out, which is okay. If it goes down, it goes down. Project Bluebeam, right? All that stuff. And I myself am a Christian, but we got a job to do up until that horn sounds. And Bryce Mitchell's job is to fight. And Dan Ige is what I've been saying for a long time. I wanted to see this fight happen. It was like I thought it was the perfect fight to get Bryce back into the win column in the rankings because after that Ilya Taporia fight, he needed a win, and he was gonna fight either he was supposed to fight John Pierce, and then he moved on and was gonna fight the Russian guy whose name escapes me. That fight still I think needs to happen, but he pulled out after that. And he really just needs a shot back to get in. And I always said Dan Ige is that perfect. He's ranked. He's very doable for Bryce. He's not Volkanovski status. He's kind of a gatekeeper, but he's that perfect one for Bryce to get back in with. And you can tell that Bryce really cherry picked that fight right. But the only thing worse than picking or cherry picking a fight is when you cherry pick a fight and it backfires. And it's not going to be because of skill. I think Thug Nasty definitely has the skill to do it. The only thing is once Thug Nasty gets in there, is he going to be focused on the fight or Jesus Christ? Because if you're too focused on Jesus Christ, unless Jesus is helping you win that fight in any way, shape, or form, your focus ain't on fighting. And that's why that's the only factor that I'm thinking is going to affect this fight. I can't really call it because it's going to tell is Bryce Mitchell really going to be about fighting and take the path that God has set him out and take it seriously? Honestly, I believe so. I think that he's going to be the one to do it. My only thing is when you talk more about God than fighting on UFC, then we're going to have a bit of an issue because you don't know what Dan's planning. You don't know if Dan Ige uh, is getting better. He's getting better too. You don't want to sleep on Dan because if you sleep on Dan, he's going to catch you. But if it's all said and done and Bryce does win, which I hope he does, I really hope Bryce is the one that comes out on top. Then I hope that he gets on that mic and says as much things about Jesus as he wants. And please bring back organic farming because I would actually love to try some raw milk. That's not thrown through a factory. One that comes from a farm. I heard that argument about raw milk that the reason it gets contaminated more often is because in a farm, uh, it's easier to quality control it versus the factories where they pasteurize the milk. But hey, why not raw milk? All right, organic farming, Jesus Christ. Most importantly, Bryce, let's get the job done. Peace out.